Hello, everyone, and welcome to ILIAD Esports. FaceIt Season 6 Advanced Season as we see the epic matchup between ILIAD ARTEMIS stepping up to Amplify. I'm D'Lo, your man behind the mic. We, of course, have Headrammer and Hippie representing our friends at XYBA Productions, your almighty eyes in the sky, and our good friend LA Smurf, your woman behind the curtain. Hope y'all are doing well. I certainly am. Not gonna lie, bit tired. It's been a bit of a long week educating the youth, but our friends here in ILIAD ARTEMIS here to educate you in some good Overwatch 2 plays. Certainly looking forward to seeing what they got to bring to the table here. Week 8 in the season, so we are starting to get a bit deeper into things. Still plenty of time for improvement. Still plenty of time for adjustments. However, you want to make sure that you're staying strong. You can't let fatigue set in. You can't let complacency take over. So once again, ILIAD ARTEMIS going to move up against Amplify in a worthy competition. First to 3 maps will take it. But I've gotten the chance to commentate for my friends on ARTEMIS before. They by no means are pushovers. Amplify, new to the table for me at the very least for this caster, so hopefully going to put on a good show. You know, even though we're here on the ILIAD ARTEMIS channel, we're still going to, of course, give our due diligence, give our due respect to our opponents. Fair sportsmanship and all that, but speaking of ARTEMIS, let's take a look at our players stepping up on the mark. It's, of course, our friend Duck on Quack, best name you could ask for, and also a fantastic player to boot. Payne Correa, Maverick, Industrial, and Mardox going to be repping the Fatal 5. On the other side, Amplify. Got some pretty big names to boot as well. Got to make sure you put respect on their names, too. Talking about our friend Voriana Byzantine, our friend Gap, hopefully going to see if they can prove the name has any weight to it. Otterboard and Cons Overwatch as well. So, star-studded cast of characters here. And it's worth noting, we're in a pretty interesting spot in the meta, right? There are these new perks. There's a very large overhaul coming in here through Overwatch in terms of what these characters are now capable of. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of new, but a lot of old with that new. That kind of leaves you a bit of a playground. And I wonder what that shows for the people who have stuck by this game through thick and thin, those who have been playing it since Overwatch 1. Maybe you bear a bit more of an advantage. Maybe you recognize the power of the infinite Rhine pin. I've literally seen a clip where someone disconnected from a game because they got infinite charged, running around in circles, and they were inactive for too long. Hilarious. But maybe not quite as funny if you're on the receiving end of that during a comp set. So we'll have to see what shenanigans get brought to play with. Of course, new characters in as well with the Wu Yang. So you get some support options too. A bit more sand to throw around in the sandbox. That being said, what sandbox are we playing here today? We'll take a look at the maps real quick. Does seem the first one established. It's a fan favorite. It's a classic. It's Ilios. And I always love Ilios for a start for the control just because there's a lot you can do with it. There's the environmental aspect of it, especially around well. And it's also especially on Lighthouse too. You have the boop potential, but also you have some fun, nice scenery. I'm a big fan of the blues, you know? But hopefully it's not going to be all doom and gloom for either of these teams. I want to see some good competition. First time I was here for ILIAD, I got to see a best of 5 go all the way to 5. My vocal cords might not thank them for it, but the Overwatch player in me certainly would not mind to see it get stretched all the way down. We'll have to find out what the character bands end up coming through to be, especially when you consider, again, these new perks that are being thrown into the mix. New threats have arisen. Cole Cassidy can aim down the sights. What? Since when did they allow that? It's crazy. It does, though, truly shake things up a little bit. And now's a great time for that, right? Week 8 in the meta for FaceIt. What a better time to just throw a rock at the entire system. Meteor shakes everything up. Now the ecosystem, a bit different, a bit changed. What's the result? Who evolves? Who gets left behind in the evolutionary dust? Well, that question may very well be answered here today by our friends in ARTEMIS and Amplify. Now, last time I saw ARTEMIS, when I think about them, I think of aggression. I think of Maverick, especially, when it comes to that. Player who, if I'm not mistaken, big fan of the hazard, big fan of those dive characters that really want to get up in your face. And then share relatively soon for these bans coming up. And that's also where I'm curious. Do either of these teams have really a game plan in terms of what they know they want to ban away, or does the fact that we have so many new elements, so many new toys to play with, kind of leave us feeling, we're kind of okay with seeing where the chips fall, seeing what cards may be left on the table, and just trying to make the best hand possible with those. There's certainly a lot of ways to go about it. A lot of experimentalism, I'm sure. Some nerves as well. You want to make sure that you're hitting the ground running, especially in a new landscape. Sometimes, though, first map that's familiar as Ilios is a great place to do it. Map bans already done. Map pick already out of the way. That means hero bans are up next. Let's take a look at what's been struck off the board. It's going to be the Diva, who now can aim down the sights. Once again, nostalgia bait, but not going to be falling for that trick. Instead, we'll just strike her off the map, Amplify, say no mech for you. Seems that we're similarly cyborg inclined, as the Genji will be struck off away by ILIAD ARTEMIS. So a bit of action there across both sides. We have one tank being taken off. And on this first map of Ilios, we indeed do go to the ruins. Or if we go to Lighthouse, I see those both being very, very wise. Especially on Lighthouse for Diva, can be very frustrating. Those jump jets, of course, not only allow her access to the high ground, but also some pretty good boot potential around those rails. Whoever installed those rails really needs to get fired. No safety. Those things get busted down with a punch from Tracer. She doesn't have any superhuman powers. She just punches them. And they just crumble. Ridiculous. Infrastructure needs a serious upgrade. Nonetheless, safety hazards aside, hopefully our friends at ILIAD ARTEMIS can stay safe this first round as we ready to hop into the game here. Once again, ILIAD ARTEMIS up against Amplify. In a first of 3. Advanced Season 6 of the FaceIt League. D-Lo on the mic. And once again, Headrammer and Hippie, your almighty eyes in the sky. Looking forward to seeing what the ebb and the flow is to begin. Of course, always, as is the case, these map ones, they're a pace setter. They get you the ebb and the flow, they get you the rhythm. Who marches to the beat of whose drum? We'll be wanting to find out shortly as we prep up to get in the game. But look at the scenic vistas. Reminds me of that that real clippy. Darling, hold my hand. You too can get a Jet 2 holiday. I mean, look how beautiful this is, right? Don't you want a timeshare there? In the background, you hear the screams of someone who gets booped down into the void. Oh! Just in the background, there's someone sailing down to the doom. Maybe they can knock off a chunk of the real estate price. But nonetheless, we're looking for some high-value games. That's what I got my eyes set for. There it is. The yawning abyss awaits. 3 things inevitable. Death, taxes, and boops. And boops bring one of those anyway. So, they're really linked, hand in hand, if you really think about it. And as we prep up to hop in a game here, I gotta wonder if the nerves are settled on each team. Oftentimes you can quickly tell how everyone's feeling just based on the play. Is it antsy? Are we flowing or are we filtering? Are our fights looking like a bad Jackie Chan action movie where the henchmen step up one with one? Or are we making cohesive, concerted efforts to take down the enemy? Lighthouse will indeed be the first map, so we get to find out exactly what's what. Wait, never mind. I lied. It's well. I totally lied. I'm a massive fibber. My pants are just lit on fire. Super embarrassing. Nonetheless, though, well does mean, of course, still, the worst in the world. Good. Step up into the map here. With lost comps. Seeing that play out. Born by those guys. A massive damage. Maverick on the hazard, just as I would expect.
5, 4, 3,
own right.
2,
And both of our sides are
capture the objective.
no question is, you are on. Yes, an optimal one. Mirrored comps. Will the skills be mirrored as well? Leave the back line. Force out Suzu for Mardox, but a wall cuts off the retreat. Quick TP right on back and duck. Be first on the plate. Good melee kill there from Biz. Sends him down. Ivory follows it up. DPS showing out here from the side of Amplify as they quickly amp up the body count. Take point force. these Tracer 1v1s can be a very good microcosm to look at for a match. I don't really think of the Freya 1v1 quite as much. So this is kind of a duel at 10 paces, but a Tracer. It's very personal very quickly. And I imagine Pain Kure is going to take that a bit personally. That Biz already got the better hand. Also got the better hand of the ult charge as a result. A Pulse Bomb likely going to be the first one up available. Trying to find their entrance. Went for the hazard though. Risky business. They find out firsthand. Duck though, not quite the 1v1, and more of a 3v1 handicap map. Does take down Ivory. In their Ivory Tower though, Marduk's dropped down with the TP. A good shot there from Duck. Drops Biz as well. For the Artemis, trying to retake. Need to get a few more kills before they can guarantee it. 44% on the board for Amplify. Artemis for the tables. Ola actually going to be the first ultimate as a result up available for Duck. That feels good. Who do you decide to aim with for that? My money says on Biz. If you can confidently take down the Tracer, the issue of course is, gotta make sure that mobility is down first. Ivory's not the worst idea either in that scenario. Oftentimes, hovering in the air gives you an ample opportunity to find the shot. Gap with the peak. In the sky. Trying to look for the back line, but Marduk instantly responds with the Tune drop. First ultimate we see, and there's a response instantly from Consequence as well. What's the consequence of that, though? It's a death on Gap. Well, Artemis, for their money, do not want to overextend. Maintaining this choke. The entrance of the point. Recognizing the danger that lies with both Biz and Ivory. Having those ultimates in pocket, no sense in biting off more than we can chew. Now lapping the percents for Amplify as well. Artemis, a good claim around this point. Biz works in the waters. Gives the cheeky back cap. It's quickly going to be contested. About a quarter way's progress made. Here they come from the side flank. Drops down the sound barrier. It's a response indeed from Industrial. Pain Kure going to bring down the Pain on top of Ivory. The first one to fall. Pulse Bomb results in the end of Gap. Biz unfortunately could not find anyone with that ultimate. 5-player kill streak, and the bodies just keep on dropping. It's all blue. But you got to imagine the ILIAD Artemis are actually feeling rather good about it. Amplify instead, beaten black and blue. Instead back to base. 90% too. It's a big ultimate's dropped. Ola's still available, as well as the rain from Gap. And that might be the go button. 4% left. Someone's got to touch. Will it be Biz? It's on for the OT. Here comes to make it rain on top of the tank, but where's the follow-up? Not enough quite just yet. Stalling for so much time. Maverick showing that they've got the true skill Gap. Just as soon as I say it, though, Mikey Shield takes him down. Industrial will fall as well. A great last stand made here by Amplify. Duck not going to go down without a fight. Does make sure to take down their doppelganger before they also reach the grave. A lot expended there, though. Kitsune will be back online, assuming Consequence lives long enough to tell the tale. Support ultimate and nearly double DPS, too, for Artemis. Shots on top. Pain Kure. Got to retreat back for more. Good job by Gap to stall out their approach a little bit longer. Tell that Maverick's been taking a bit of a different approach. I always see Gap leaping up and over for that backline, whereas Maverick's being a bit more of the team. The team right now is going on in. Ivory's the first to fall. Inside the well we go. The violent leap back to safety, but Gap instead gets kicked right back down. This is Sparta, baby. And Maverick will finish off Otters as well. Artemis quickly, handily, efficiently, lethally take back the point, secure the first round.
Score 1-0.
Impressive work. What I think that comes down to is what we talked about before. Cohesive versus a bit discombobulated. I feel like even though it resulted in success, that rain it down on top of Maverick. Roots him in place. The concerted damage was not there afterwards, not quickly enough. We were taking too much time to take down isolated targets. That's going to cost you. Look at the kill board, though. Clearly a player to look out for is going to be Biz. On this Tracer, been doing a pretty solid job so far. Gap, at the very beginning, made those dives really work out, but near the end, you can start to see it slow its progress. Shots on lock there from Duck, forces out the Suzu, but Biz, once again, meets you exactly where you land. Pain Correa not to be outdone. Takes down Consequence. That's a trade. Good bop there from Pain Correa. Drops the tank, and overall, Artemis starting to unleash dominance across the point. Chase down on top of the Lucio. Pain Correa leaves it for Maverick to sweep up. And Artemis handily take that first point. Echo online here now. Worth noting, that focus beam, that range, baby. Oh, that range. Quite threatening now, even from the skies. And that might be deceptive here for Artemis to think that they have a leg up at 10 paces. Not quite the case. That thing goes 12. But Biz now giving up on that Tracer, I will say, is a show that they're kind of throwing up the white flags a little bit. Boost of confidence there for Pain Correa. A bit more of a boost of damage too. Trying to drop down this Kiriko. Biz maybe had no business on this Echo. He'll fall down to Duck. Pulse bomb bit off the mark. More of a warning shot. Next one, I promise you, will find your head. An unfortunate suicide there from Ivory. Cost them quite a bit of ground gain by taking down Duck, especially considering they had Pola in pocket. With that Artemis, no reason to relinquish any hold on this point.
What's up?
Consequence links up with Gap. Well, where's Gap going? Once again, back line, dives on in. Can't finish off Industrial. And what does that result in? Maverick doing the exact same thing to far greater success. Iz will fall, and Maverick wanders in, saunters in even. Leaves the rest of the kills to Duck and Maradox. Pain Correa, a quick blink across the gap, drops him down with a few more precise pistol shots from those pulse guns. Biz does beam down one, but it's just not going to be enough. Forces the dupe, and Biz now having to be an echo, a shadow of their former character. It's not going to be enough. Should have stayed by Old Faithful. ILIAD Artemis, a flawless second round. Nothing short of impressive. And there's Maverick, baby. On that Hallmark pick. Steps back in, clobbers Biz, drops him like a sack of potatoes. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Overall, what would I say is just the issue that we need to see Amplify step up to ensure success? Cohesion. You could maybe argue like, yeah, sure, the shot placement. The fact that Gap is diving these characters and not finding the kills, whereas Maverick does right there, right? I think it comes down to the fact that we're maybe not communicating well enough. Gap has got to make sure to let you know. I'm diving Lucio. I need to see a few shots on him from the Echo, some stickies. Bing, bang, boom, done. But if you're putting all that pressure on Gap's shoulders, the gaps will start to form. Those weaknesses, those flaws in the armor, where a knife slips on through. Or a crossbow bolt. Or a pulse pistol. Either way, you got to make sure you're fighting as 5. Even in moments where you are a bit more dive-oriented, and your comp can settle with having some more individual agents, you're still overall always focused on the grander scheme of things, the fight as 5. Next map coming at us here. Seems that it's going to be on Saravasa. I always say, if you're having trouble with that first map, especially that decisively, right? First time Amplify in that round 1. Take the start point. And then once Artemis get a hold of it, they really never let go. Especially considering that dominant performance round 2. You need a reset. You're really hoping for momentum to carry you forward here. If you're an Artemis fan. If you're Amplify, you're resetting the mentals, you're embracing tranquility, and you're praying Saravasa brings you some answers to how to counter this aggression from Artemis. Hero bands coming at you here. Amplify for their money. I wouldn't have quite minded a Tracer ban, but I think the map has a lot more open stretches that make this Cole Cassidy a lot bigger of a threat. They'll take that off the board. Does mean that Artemis cannot look at the DPS any longer. Probably going to look for tanks, but at the same time, if you're going to let them run the hazard mirror match and you're winning it, you're probably just fine. Maybe the supports, I suppose, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Kiriko ban, actually. I don't think Mardox was performing poorly at all. But I do think that Amplify were doing a pretty solid job on theirs. Whereas the Lucio, I think Industrial's got that corner set locked down. So why not eliminate the Ditto that is a bit closer? That feels a bit more comparable. Make them uncomfortable. Make them zig when they want to zag. We'll find out shortly. Still plenty of options on the board. Honestly, the Cassidy. Wouldn't mind seeing the Freya. Duck on that pick was absolutely destructive. It's going to be the Orisa instead. Once again, the range characters taking some hits. But Amplify, they're the ones who've taken the hit to their confidence. That last round is a brutal reminder. As we hop into the map, you can only hope for good competition, and for that to happen, Amplify've got to step it up. Flashpoint does mean that there are several chances to do so. Little mental resets in every switch of the point. But at the same time, you're constantly in the fray. It's not like a control map where you get a hard break. There is pressure constantly looming. At the very least, you have multiple chances for victory. We'll see how things all end up shaking up here in map 2. And already I'm seeing a return to form. The Genji was banned away last time. Duck picks it up. Ivory does the same.
5, 4,
Support lineup's going to look the exact as before. No different story either for these two hazards.
flashpoint, mark it.
But whereas Gap is looking like a wet floor sign, Maverick is just a whole auto turret, aware of dog. I'm more inclined to obey that hazard. Wet floor sign, you step on over it, not big of an issue. You need to give more reason to respect Gap. Swift strike into the sidelines. Duck, nearly in trouble. Ivory, a whole lot more. First blood for Industrial. Less Amplified, do dig in their heels and actually manage to grab the point. Impressive work. How long will that last? Still not point secured quite by Artemis. They'll quickly change that. Amplified aside, no more blood to be shed. I want to wait till the entire team's united, till Ivory's back in their toe to ensure they can have a fair fight. Duck nearly meets their end in an early deflect. Opportunized by Biz. Quickly paying Gray, even the odds. Some help from Maverick, too. And once again, Pain Correa on this Tracer. Showing that you really are just an echo of me. I'm the original. 50% secured just like that. Full spawn to boot. Without that Freya, the ult race, the arms race, these DPS, it's much more decided by how these Tracers perform. I haven't seen many pulse bombs, if any, if I'm not mistaken. Elims actually happened. We're looking for Pain Correa. Try to take down Gap, who you know is oftentimes distracted by your other backliners, oftentimes looking with supports. Here comes the sound barrier. Suzu's response and the Kitsune charge there from Mardox. Maverick starts things off by dropping Gap. Ivory is next up on the mark, and Biz, unfortunately, only going to do a bit of damage to that wall. Quickly, everyone is making sure to take down their unfortunate twin, but Duck decapitates Biz. A shower of bodies, and one extra flashpoint already. 4 ultimates in pocket, man. Artemis are looking scary. I'm really curious to see Gap in these fights. Where their position? I'm going to be paying special attention. You should be too. And honestly, if you're Amplify, tabs on your tank as well. Ivory does take down Quack, though. Point doesn't open up for the 10 seconds, though. And we're already using Kitsune nonetheless. If you ask me, maybe a bit too early. Sound Barrier, though, will be the response. And that will last long enough to drive them away from the point. ARTEMIS, with careful management of resources, recognize the context of the situation, and beat them at their own supportal. Game. Dragon Blade out from Ivory. Can't find the damage. Surveys from above. One slash to the toes of Genji. They still keep all their dogs attached. And all my dogs are with me. Maverick goes on in Industrial. Takes down Otters. The Lucio pops 2 for 1. Dragon Blade in response, just for a bit of added flourish. Can you find the kill onto Gap? At the very least, you get something for your troubles. It was a near secure there from Amplify as well. But I will say, that ultimate, maybe not necessary from Duck. Looked cool, though. 2 ults in the pocket for Amp. And they really got to pump up that pressure. You need to see this ult from Biz. Find the mark. Is Tracer your best target? Maybe not. Downpour on in. Ivory drops Industrial. Gap drops down from high ground. And the Pulse Bomb only meets the spiky shield. Maverick stays alive, but no supports left means no reason left to stay up. Duck takes down Otters. Overall, the fight has been found. Nonetheless, ARTEMIS are still able to stall for enough time. Amplify got lost in the sauce and didn't look at the whole enchilada. You've got to remember what you're fighting for. Or this map's going to be over in a flash. Potential last point here for map 2. Kitsune rush in the downpour available, and both used in tandem. That's that synergy. Sound Barrier is the response. Great ult there from Otters. And Kitsune adds to the Animal Parade. No kills just yet, but a Suzu from ARTEMIS preserves Maverick's life for a bit longer. The spiky wall as well. Get a spear Gap through the side. Mardox takes their head. Pain Corray barely able to stay up to. And Biz instead is the Tracer that leaves no trace. Once again, unabated slaughter from ARTEMIS. Duck is a sole casualty. And that's just an appetizer. 50% already guaranteed. Amplify, nursing their ult beaters. Only the DPS have hope left in their body and charge left in their meters. Pulse bombs up. Good Suzu in response, keeps Mav alive. Sound Barrier, not early enough though to save Mardox. Good kill there from Biz. Could get things started, but no, the Dragon Blade cuts down your chances. Dodge the downpour. I got an umbrella, baby. And I got shurikens for everyone. It's a team kill from ARTEMIS. And it's a map 2 victory as well. Efficient. Murderous. And just synergetic. Mardox there. Grabs the MVP. Yeah, honestly, this play was really solid. Using that Kitsune rush from the high ground to allow open ground for Maverick to charge forward. Put pressure on Gap. You started to see some puzzle pieces come together, right? End of that second flashpoint. Amp win the fight. But again, you needed Biz, once that Pulse Bomb was dropped on top of Mardox, to go to point. We kind of lost the point. We forgot the point of this game. It's for objectives. This is not team deathmatch. This is not search and destroy. They will respawn. They will be back again. ARTEMIS, through not only perseverance, but awareness, consciousness of what they are here for. What they're here for now is a clean sweep. Up 2-0. Amplify. Questions on your shoulders, baby. Can you avoid the janitor mops coming out? I hope so. You never want to see a worthy competitor go down that hard. And with this map coming up here, Circuit Royale, it's going to be an interesting case. You, of course, have two sides of the coin, defense and offense on these payload maps. And it's nice that they don't have to worry about securing, because clearly Amplify are having a hard time securing a point. So maybe keeping something that's a bit more mobile, something that's a bit more in your face, something that's not as static. Maybe that's where we find our groove. If I'm them, though, I'm banning that Tracer. I am banning that Tracer. Pain Corray has been a problem. Not one easy to counter or industrial. Again, if you both want to use a character, but one of those players on the enemy team is just playing it a bit more impactfully, I see no reason why we continue to submit ourselves to that pain. Ban it away. I'm hoping these players at the advanced division have enough depth to their character pools, they'll be able to sustain those hits. Clearly, Duck and Pain Corray do. Hero bans coming up at you. Amplify, as well as Artemis, have so far neglected the support pool. I wonder if we change that. I wonder if Lucio becomes the call. The Tracer I wouldn't mind as well. The Hazard, too, like, truthfully. I'm adding Hazard, though. Not as big of a threat here on Circuit Royale. I've seen many a comp be played here. The Pharah sometimes can be a threat up until second point. That May can also be quite annoying around those chokes, those walls, and indeed you're seeing it be banned out by Amp. Big DPS focus on their part. Artemis, for the first time, say, supports deserve some love, or hate, rather, too. Taking off that Brigida. And I think that's fine. I think they want the Ditto. That's the issue. Artemis want the Dittos. Not only is it immensely satisfying to play the characters you like, it's demoralizing for the enemy to look in a mirror and see the better version of you that you always wanted to be. And that's what Pain Corray has been to Biz. You look in the mirror and you see, man, I wish I had that many kills. Me too, buddy. Me too. Hopefully Amp can be a bit more aspirational. Reach for those stars you see in the night sky. Look at those sweeping shots. That's head rammer and hippie for you. Please make sure to thank our production, of course, as always. Off we go. And here we see things change up quite a bit. Long stretches of open land. What that means is snipes are out. Fangs are bared. All 8 eyes on Ivory and Duck. See how they operate on these Widows. Stella on the Ilari alongside the Juno. Very different philosophies here. I see a Zen and I see a Bap. Great pick potential. Scary when it comes to the AoE heals. I'm seeing a lot of weight that could be placed on Consequence's shoulders. Ivory waits for the peaks. Repositions, try to find a better spot. Amplify on defense first. And I think that's a lot better. I'm glad they're on defense first, because nothing feels worse than being kept in spawn on a payload map. You have the Diva, brought back from the depths of the ban list, now in Maverick's hands. Gap on the Sigma. Gonna be able to generally ignore what that amp matrix, or defense matrix rather, means for them. Duck finds the first snipe, takes down Biz. Double snipers here with the Hanzo. Again, tons of pick potential. But do those picks become reality? A bullet whizzes past Duck's head. This one finds the mark. No kill. Kept around the arch. Artemis. Bide their time. Pain Corray staying by the Symmetra is certainly an interesting case. Comes back in the situation, all these turrets. Where do you find the best placement for them, whether you're Stella or Pain Correa? You want to make sure that's out of the sight lines here. I will note, though, low fire rates here for Ivory and Biz. I mean, it's going to be a bit more difficult to take him down. Lamp is destroyed by Duck. Ivory did pop the ultimate as well. But to what avail? Grants you pressure. Not that much. Amplify. Trying to hold firm. Now forced to step on back. Artemis dropped down the beam. And dropped down Pain Correa, courtesy of Biz. Nice work. I will say on this part of the map, this stretch, yeah, do such great work with those barriers. With those road blockers. The Sigma Free Fire can easily peek those corners. Duck takes a peek and comes up with two heads. Ivory and Biz grabs both dog tags, rips them off their corpse. Arctic Flux is available here for Gap. And Tranquility was used there by Otters. That feels rough. Amplify on the precipice of getting that first point. Now I've got to make a second push. And up against two pretty big rig ultimates. Pain Correa's got that barrier in pocket. If Gap utilizes that ultimate just to prevent extra focus fire, Pain Correa could very well drop it down to ensure safety. Maverick, on their hand, has got to be careful. You don't want a Diva Bomb into the true combo of being thrown up into the sky. Gravity's a lot scarier when you don't have a mech suit hugging around your waist. Venture, picked up there by Biz. I'm glad to see a bit of a change of pace as Hanzo is not finding the picks necessary. The accretion, followed by a Great Gravitative Flux, does meet the barrier instantly and ensures no one will die just yet. Save for Duck. Ivory finds the pick. Pain Correa, some great weaving, bobbing back and forth. The bomb takes down Gap, and Stella falls at Ivory's fingertips. 2 meters. Separate Amp from that first point with a spray of machine gun fire. I'm inclined to believe they'll get it. Ivory, those deep in the fray. And Tracer is as well. Instantly gets dropped by the big bad boot from Otters. Amp Matrix from Consequence provides massive dividends. And Gap on this Hamston switch to rejoin the fight quickly. Brilliant adaptability. That's what you want to see from Amp. 2 extra minutes. And also, a ton of restored spirits. Ivory on this Widow is doing great work. Now comes the hard part, though. A lot less snipers alleys for Ivory to work with at the top of the key. Does still drop down Stella, but quickly Pain Correa follows it up. Now the Genji slices Ivory down to size. Duck manages to take down Consequence. That Bab's got to be careful when jumping. Could be in a ton of trouble. They're caught in the sky with the Exo boots. Biz got the tectonic shocks. Shock and awe as Pain Correa will fall alongside Mardox and Mav. Great space being established here by the Venture. Biz maybe found their stride. Venture forth, my friend. Venture forth. And Stella, I must note, on the Solari, switching in for Industrial, has not had the easiest time. Ivory instead. My God. We might need to go Ivory hunting. Might need to become legalized. Because this player is absolutely killing it. Infrared sight back on the mark. And Amplify. Grab that second point. Gap now on the Zarya. And worth noting, Mav has been on this Ryan for a bit. Shadow's coming up. I think whether we stay on that character quite literally rides on how this first Shatter goes. Duck, make sure the arrow goes straight into the skull of Ivory. Hanzo pick didn't look quite the best on Biz, but Duck proving it can still work. I'm loving this flexibility we're seeing here between Pain and Duck. We saw earlier Duck operating on this Genji. Now it's Pain. Shatter. Available there for map. When you're on that corner, Biz knows it. Can't deflect the Shatter buddy though, so you might want to be careful. How does Gap take the bait? Ivory might be the one to be put on the sacrificial altar. Waits for the opportunity, ducks behind the payload. Begins to harangue and harass the Rhine. The bite of a flea. One that can still bring quite a bit of impact. Same with that Shatter. Drops down Gap, but Pain Correa is the cost. A 1-for-1. Laurie in the sky. Stella, not too much off that ultimate. Pain Correa sits in spawn. Eagerly gripping to that blade. That's ready to Hulk out. And still, ILIAD Artemis give ground. The Shatter only found the Zarya. That play was far too telegraphed. Instead, it's going to be the Dragons coming out there from the Hanzo, not finding much impact. Graviton Surge, same story. Maverick instead pays you back in kind with a Flame Strike to the dome. An arrow in the same spot. Biz. All out of friends to go. 18 seconds left. Amplify halfway to their final destination. Consequence switched over to the Juno and has that laser in pocket. Will that be enough? Bring all the technology you want. Sometimes all you need is good old-fashioned Kitsune rush and a Dragon Blade to boot. Pain Correa tries to slice him down, but the heals are just a bit too much. Back up to the top, and indeed a response from Briz. Instantly knocked down on their keister by their older brother. You're grounded. Mom said it's time for you to put away the dishes. Otters takes down Duck. It's a sound barrier. Finally from Otters. They begin to swim forward. Keeps Gap alive for quite some time, but only for them to run away. A charge forward. A missed attempt. Lucio backs them off, and a Shatter disrespectfully knocks them back down to earth at the very end. Artemis are able to hold on. An unfortunate case where, again, I think we lost the picture for Amp. Too many members left alive to have a reason to go off the point. So what if your KD gets a bit worse? You need to be there or dead when that meter is still ticking. There is no other option. Unfortunately, I just think we're losing sight of what we are supposed to accomplish. And I'm sure Amplify know it. That is not a easily forgotten thing. A C9 is rough, no matter which way you cut it. Though I will say Amplify did show some amazing strides there. And I think that's already proving what we kind of seen before. They like space. They like to know who's coming and when. They're big fans of the snipe picks. They like to have a wide open plane. They've got to make sure that they're being careful in that. Artemis now on their offensive run. They've got to make sure they're not walking right into the Lion's Den. Duck sticking by this Widow. Commemorative performance there. For what Ivory was doing earlier. Now Ivory instead on the Hanzo. Maverick sticks by the Diva. Stella on the Solari has got a little bit to prove to me, if I'm being honest. You want to see more impact. Those pylons. Need some passive work done in the back. See, though, if we can maybe flashier plays. Maverick strides forward, but Ivory is able to take down Duck in the back line. Venture up in the sky. Bring Stella 6 feet under. Great drill rush into Pain Correa's unfortunate corpse. And Amplify quickly making a statement. We are not the pushovers you thought we were in those first 2 rounds. Pharah comes out. ILIAD, very familiar going up against a comp like this. They've seen this be used against their brothers in arms. A great concussive blast. Puts them out of position, but a ring might put them back into safety. No, there is none. Duck combines with Pain Correa, the fusion dance. Results in 2 Amplify bodies. Make it 4. Make it a team kill for Artemis. The Hunters. Goes with the name after all. That all starts with Pain Correa. What a great concussive blast. Forces so much utility from Amp. And also mistaken, that Juno ring wasn't even for them. They don't even got the Juno ring, but Artemis do. They can pursue. The disengaged potential for Amplify is there for sure. But in that scramble situation where you're displaced, it becomes immensely more difficult to recover. No ultimates online here for Amplify. Layup already used, but Duck, unfortunately, could not outlast it. Gap, though, does get zapped back to base. Eva Bomb is ready. I want to be used as well. Maybe a bit hasty there from Maverick. Pain Correa already had your back and ripped out Consequence's spinal cord. Nonetheless, better safe than sorry. Biz can't stay safe. Stella takes him down. An attempt to dive in the back line, recognizing that Pain Correa is operating this Genji. A bit harder to keep up with the Tracer. So Biz is trying to do what we saw Pain Correa do in the first 2 maps. Not to the same level of success. Pulse Bomb's ready. And that Alari makes for a pretty tantalizing target. Already have the infrared on out. Alari pops the ult as well. Forces Amp to retreat, but not into the grave. Good Bola. Forces that sound barrier instantly from Otters. Well timed to keep Ivory alive. Instead, Duck is the one called out and shot down. With the death of Pain Correa as well. That's all she wrote for this fight. Amplify, man, they're putting up some solid shows of force. But Artemis only have about, what, 5 meters? That second point. 3 minutes left for it. Not going to be the easiest case. And Maverick back on this from Ryan. Truthfully, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I don't think we've seen a ton of flashy plays from it. You're going to have a hard time keeping it safe from this Tracer. Looks for the Pulse Bomb onto Alaria, but Biz is just not sticking them like they should. You need some command strips to those bombs, buddy. Some magnets attached. And now Duck has been goaded by their opponent. Takes on the Tracer too. Ant Matrix dropped by Consequence. But in conflict, to heal or to damage? That is the question. The answer's going to be the former. Marathon Surge available and used. Does take down Mardox. Duck will fall as well. All that was necessary though. Ryan stands strong. Does manage to drop down Gap. Hold on this chance. One that Consequence quickly stamps underfoot by taking down Pain Correa. Ar's the back line. Boop Stella back to their maker. And I think we are honestly seeing the consequence of not having Industrial here. That Lucio's impact feels leagues ahead of what the character of Alari can provide. Doc does take down Consequences though. Ivory as well. Shatter on top of Biz. Ramatra's out, but that mech's about to be disassembled just as quickly. Hopefully that warranty didn't expire, because it instantly got shipped in a crate right back to base. Second point, easily secured. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Artemis trying to keep their eye on the ball. Do not want to make the same mistakes Amplify did. Bit of a play in the pool. Is the lifeguard watching? Hey guys, no running by it. No blinking either. Duck on Quack. Quickly, he's got to go back. Recognizing that maybe the rules do apply to me a little bit as well. Straying up ahead though, Gap in Nemesis form. Clobbers Mardox, Pain Correa. Similar story, courtesy of Otters. Sound barrier expertly used. A laser and Dragon Blade. Both in the dust as a consequence. Duck put on a spit. But nonetheless, the distance closes ever more. Ivory debuts the Cole Cassidy. First time on the stream today. That pulse bomb for Duck. Not going to be used. Instead, dies along with them. Biz has one too. The first pulse bomb kill I think we'd see from this player all day. Now's your chance for redemption. Playing around the same corner we saw Maverick do earlier. Seems they know their own tricks. They take the long way around. Instead, go straight down to the point. Expedited shipping. Biz trying to hunt down the Juno. Gap will assist. And it seems that Artemis caught between whether they want the fight or the objective. Duck will fall. Stella takes down Gap and Maverick. Quickly knocks off the hat of Ivory. Consequence will fall as well. Biz is next, and now Artemis can stride towards the last few meters. The mops are almost out. The broom as well. Maverick dips a toe in the pool and decides that the water's warmer down here and wets themselves in the blood of Ivory. 30 seconds remain, but annihilation is upon us. Duck can drop down Biz. The lamp from Consequence instantly taken back to IKEA. Dab's got nothing left but their two hands and a tranquility to boot. The Omnic stands strong, but the fleshy humans unfortunately can't say the same. The Dragon Arrow back in it. Gap will fall, and Artemis advance forward and take the sweep. And that's why you need a lifeguard. Unfortunately, despite that play they gave from Ivory, drowned in the blood of their teammates. As once again, concerted efforts and some really great work by Pain Correa. Look across these highlights from the day and look at what Pain Correa has been playing. These Genjis, these Tracers. But these Tracers. Ooh, these Tracers. Biz was never able to find that same stride. And Maverick as well, same story. Just felt like they were on it a bit more than Gap. Gap had a game plan in mind, on that hazard especially. Dive the backline, drop supports. Having the vision and the execution are two very different things. And that's going to be the sad story for Amplify. Nonetheless, though, one that I hope they're not feeling too sore about. What a great play from Pain Correa here, by the way. Again, that concussive blast was absolutely a great opener. And that's all they need. I love that Artemis flexed off it instantly. We just needed that one choke. And man, did they make Amplify choke on it. They instantly crumbled, asphyxiated, grasping their necks for one breath of air. Artemis never took their boot off their neck. But once again, I do want to throw some credit there to Amplify. They made strides. You consider how close that last game was. If they hadn't lost focus, if they had kept their eye on the prize, who knows where to be right now? There's a million timelines where Amplify, they take that map, and maybe, just maybe, they take the next one and the next one too. They deserve your respect. They have mine for sure. And I hope they're able to find some elements to capture from that series and put it into a bottle for the future. That being said, though, Artemis are going to be your victors in the first of three. They will take it in three. Very, very impressive on their parts. They should be proud. And with that, that is all we're going to have for you here today on ILIAD Esports. Artemis up against Amplify. To the former, congratulations. To the latter, better luck next time. That's it from me. I've been D'Lo, joined here in the booth by my friends Headrammer and Hippie from XYBA Productions. Please thank our production for all they do. I could not yell at games without them. And of course, thank you very much to ILIAD Esports for hosting us in the first place. Our friend LA Smurf. Very much appreciate your generosity, your grace for having me here to yell silly things over a mic as well. And last, but certainly not least, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed these series just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more ILIAD esports content coming at ya. Until then, good games and good night.